My name's Hudson. I've been watching the channel and can relate to it because of what happened to me in Thailand. I'm just a regular guy from Australia. Nothing special. I work hard. I don't party much, and up until a few years ago, I thought I had a pretty normal life. That all changed after my divorce. I was married for 8 years, and when it ended, I felt like the ground disappeared under me. I wasn't looking to fall in love again. I honestly didn't think I could. But then I took a trip to Thailand. Just to clear my head. You know? One of those find yourself kind of holidays. My buddy told me to check out Pattaya, said it was wild, fun, beautiful beaches, cheap beers. So I went. I thought I'd relax, maybe meet some people, just forget the pain for a little while. What I didn't expect was to meet someone like Somchai. She was beautiful, sweet, gentle in a way that made me feel safe again, like I mattered. I thought maybe, just maybe, I was getting a second chance at happiness, but what happened next? Well, I'm still trying to make sense of it. This is my story. After the divorce, everything just felt empty. I was living in this quiet little rental back in Perth, waking up every day to silence. I'd scroll through old photos and wonder how things went so wrong. I realized that I was really the only one to blame. I had become emotionally unavailable, and my mates told me I needed a break. Go somewhere warm, get a tan, maybe meet a girl, they said. At first I laughed it off, but after a few months of dragging myself through the days, I booked a flight. I landed in Bangkok in late October. Honestly, it felt like walking into a hairdryer with neon lights. I stayed in the city for 2 nights, mostly walking around, eating weird things off sticks, and sweating through every shirt I brought. I didn't love Bangkok. It was too busy, too loud, and too chaotic for my taste. But then I heard someone mention Pattaya, beach town, the guy said. One of a kind. You'll either love it or lose your wallet, maybe both. I didn't know what to expect. The ride down from Bangkok took about 2 hours. When I got off the bus, the sun was setting. Pink skies, warm air, the sound of music drifting in from somewhere I couldn't see. Pattaya felt alive. There were scooters zipping past, couples walking along the beach, kids flying kites in the fading light. It had this strange mix of beauty and madness. It surely was busy, but not chaotic like Bangkok. I checked into a small hotel, just off Second Road, cheap, clean, nothing fancy. That night, I wandered out with no plan, just walked down toward the famous walking street, because, well, that's what people do. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. Flashing lights everywhere, girls calling out from bars, old guys dancing badly. It felt like Las Vegas and a beach town had a baby, and then left it unsupervised. I didn't drink much that first night, just soaked it in. Just wanted to feel something other than numb. Looking back now, that was the last night I really felt in control of my own story, because the next night, that's when everything took a turn. The second night, I didn't plan to go back out. I was still jet-lagged, still trying to process the madness of Walking Street, but after lying on the hotel bed staring at the ceiling fan, I figured I'd go for a walk. Nothing wild, just see the beach at night, maybe grab something to eat. I ended up at this quiet little bar just off Beach Road. It was nothing like the loud ones near the clubs. No booming music, no flashing signs, just a few red plastic chairs, some reggae playing softly, and a Thai lady behind the bar, who smiled when I walked in. That's where I saw her, Somchai. She was sitting alone at the end of the bar, nursing a bottle of water, not dressed flashy, no makeup caked on, just jeans and a simple white shirt. She looked calm. That's what I remember most, like she wasn't trying to be noticed. I ordered a beer and sat a few stools down. She looked over, gave me a polite smile, and went back to scrolling her phone. I didn't think much of it. But when the bartender came back, she asked if I was okay. I said, yeah, just taking it easy. That's when some chai spoke up. You not like Walking Street? I laughed. It's a bit much. She smiled and nodded. Too noisy, too many drunk people. That broke the ice. We started talking. Her English wasn't perfect, but it was better than my Thai, which was zero. She told me she grew up in Ubon, in the northeast, and came to Pattaya for work. Said she didn't like working in bars, but didn't have much choice. She wasn't fishing for sympathy. It just came out like a fact. I liked her right away. She didn't ask me to buy her a drink, didn't ask what hotel I was staying at. She just talked, asked about Australia, told me her favorite Thai food, joked about how all foreigners order pad Thai and mango sticky rice. Exactly the first things I ordered on my first day in Bangkok. I was surprised how easy it felt. I'd been feeling invisible for months back home. But here, She looked at me like I mattered. We sat there for hours. At one point, she laughed at something I said. Really laughed, not polite bar girl giggles, and I thought, this is nice, this is real. When the bar closed, I offered to walk her back. She said no, said she'd take a motorbike. But before she left, she put her hand on my arm and said, "You come back tomorrow." I told her yes, and I meant it. I went back the next night. Of course I did. And the night after that, every evening I'd wander down Beach Road, past the crowds and noise, just to sit at that same quiet bar and talk to her. Somchai always showed up around 9, never dressed the same way twice. One night it was a blue sundress, the next it was jeans and a thin hoodie. She never looked like she was trying to sell anything. That's what messed with my head. She just felt normal. We talked about everything. Food, music, her family. I told her about my divorce. About how I'd been feeling lost lately. She listened. Really listened. Sometimes she'd just nod. Other times she'd squeeze my hand or tilt her head like she understood everything. I wasn't saying. It didn't take long before we started spending time outside the bar. She took me to Jomtien Beach one afternoon. We walked barefoot in the sand, bought grilled squid from a cart, and sat under an umbrella while she taught me how to say basic Thai words. She laughed every time I butchered the pronunciation. I didn't care. I hadn't laughed like that in months. We rode a song Theo to the floating market. I bought her a silly keychain shaped like a shrimp. She said it was ugly, but kept it anyway. We took a picture together. She leaned her head on my shoulder. That night, she asked if I wanted to see where she lived. I said yes. Her apartment was small, just a studio with a fan, a mattress on the floor, and pictures of her family taped to the wall. She showed me a photo of her mom and said she sends money home every month. Said her dream was to open a small beauty shop one day and never work in bars again. That hit me hard. It made her seem real, like someone who got stuck in a system but hadn't given up. We lay there on that mattress, not even doing anything, just holding each other. She looked up at me and whispered, "You are different from other Farang, you kind." That was it. I was hooked. It didn't feel like a fling. It felt like I found someone who saw me. Looking back now, I realized that's what made me fall so fast. I didn't just want a girlfriend, I wanted to be needed, and she gave me that feeling. I thought I was lucky. I thought maybe, just maybe, I hit the jackpot. After that night at her apartment, something shifted in my head. I started seeing Somchai less like a bar girl and more like my girlfriend. It felt like we were building something. She wasn't hustling me. She never asked for anything. Not once. That's what made it so easy to give. It started small. One afternoon, her phone kept cutting out during our line call. She said the speaker was broken and she couldn't hear me properly. I told her, "Let's go to Tukkom tomorrow. I'll get you a new one." She shook her head, said it was too much, but I insisted. I wanted her to be able to call me any time. What's a few thousand baht if it means staying connected? Then it was her rent. She was short that month. Said she helped her mom pay for medicine. She looked embarrassed even telling me. I didn't hesitate. Transferred her the money that night. Told her it wasn't a big deal. Then it was the scooter. She showed me a picture of an old Honda Click she'd found online. Said it would help her get to work easier. Maybe even do food deliveries on the side. It was around 35,000 baht. I didn't even flinch. I told her I'd take care of it. That weekend we went to pick it up together. She wrapped her arms around me and said, "Nobody ever do this for me before." I felt proud. It wasn't just about the money. I wanted her to feel supported, safe, like someone finally had her back. I thought, if I helped her now, maybe one day we could build something bigger together. A little life, a business, maybe that beauty shop she always talked about. I started picturing us renting a place together. Maybe getting a little dog, her quitting the bar for good. She said she hated that life. Drunk men, loud music, fake smiles. She said being with me made her feel human again. How could I say no to helping her? I was already halfway in love, and every time she held my hand or sent me a heart sticker online, it just pulled me deeper. Looking back now, I can't believe how blind I was. I thought I was making smart choices. I told myself I was different from the other guys she met. I wasn't a tourist. I was her person. But the truth was, I wasn't buying her freedom. I was buying a fantasy. If only I saw it back then, because it got way worse. I didn't notice it right away. That's the scary part. The first time Somchai disappeared, it was just for a night. We were supposed to have dinner, but she didn't show. No messages. Her phone went straight to voicemail. I figured maybe something came up, family emergency, or her phone battery went flat, something simple. The next morning, she texted, "Sorry, and in hospital. No time to talk. I miss you." I told her it was okay. Of course it was. I mean, what kind of guy gets upset when someone's dealing with a family crisis? But it kept happening. One night turned into two, then she'd vanish for a weekend. Each time there was an excuse. Her cousin's baby was sick, she had to go to a temple. Her phone got dropped in the sea. She'd always come back with this soft voice and watery eyes, apologizing like she'd hurt me more than herself. And every time, I believed her. I wanted to believe her. I asked if she needed help with her family. She said no, not money, just trust. "You think I lie," she'd whisper. "You not believe me." That stung. It made me feel guilty for even asking. She'd hold my hand, kiss my cheek and say, "I am not the same, like other girl. I love you, Tirak." And every time I heard that word, Tirak, my darling, I felt my doubt shrink, like love was stronger than logic. But there were other signs too, things I didn't want to see. Her phone was always face down, she never answered calls in front of me. She'd smile when she got messages, but never tell me who they were from. Once I saw a name pop up, and she quickly swiped it away. I asked, "Who's James?" She said, "Old friend, he crazy." And that was that. I wanted to ask more. I wanted to push, but I didn't, because pushing meant risking the connection we had, and I didn't want to lose her. Looking back now, I was ignoring every red flag waving in front of my face, but when you're in it, when you're holding on to the idea that someone loves you, it's amazing what you'll excuse. I told myself she was just stressed, overworked, tired of the bar life. That's why she was distant sometimes. That's why I sent her more money, told her she didn't need to work. I'd take care of her, until she figured things out. I thought I was doing something kind, but I was just making it easier for her to disappear. After a few weeks of back and forth, I had to fly home for work. I didn't want to leave her, but she told me not to worry. "We strong," she said. "You have my heart." We kept texting while I was in Australia. Voice messages, photos, cute little stickers. She'd send me selfies with kissy faces, or pictures of her dinner with captions like, "Miss you, not same without you." It helped. I missed her more than I expected. The apartment felt cold again, just like before. I kept thinking about Pattaya, our beach walks, her laughing at my terrible tie, the way she held my hand in public, like she wasn't ashamed. So I decided to surprise her. I booked a flight without telling her, took a few extra days off work, and landed in Bangkok, early on a Friday morning. I was buzzing with excitement the whole ride down to Pattaya, imagining her face when I walked into the bar, thinking maybe this time, I'd ask her to come back to Australia with me. I didn't even go to my hotel first. I dropped my bags at the front desk, and headed straight for the bar. The same little beachside place, the one where we met. She wasn't there at first, but I waited, ordered a beer, tried to play it cool, and then I saw her. She came walking in, holding another man's hand. It was an older guy, balding, sunburned neck, wearing one of those tank tops with an elephant print. She was laughing, really laughing, the way she used to with me. She sat next to him, laid her hand on his thigh, and whispered something in his ear. I just sat there. I don't think I even blinked. She turned her head, saw me. Her smile dropped for half a second, then she ignored me, and looked away, like I was nobody. I waited for her to come over, say something, explain, but she didn't. She didn't even look my way again. I finished my beer, my hands were shaking. I walked out and sat on the beach, just staring at the waves. The sun was going down, but I didn't feel the breeze, didn't hear the music. Everything felt hollow. I didn't cry, not then. I just kept thinking, there's no way that was real. There has to be some explanation. She wouldn't do that to me. But deep down, I knew she was just like all the other bar girls. How could I be this stupid? The next morning, I sent her a message. No reply, so I sent another. Still nothing. By noon, I couldn't take it. I walked back to the bar, hoping maybe she'd be there, alone this time, and maybe, God knows why, I could pretend last night didn't happen. She wasn't there. But the bartender gave me a look, like he recognized me. He asked if I was okay. I just nodded, ordered a Coke, and sat there watching the empty stool where she used to sit beside me. An hour later, my phone buzzed. It was her. "You here?" I replied. "Yes. Can we talk?" she said. "Meet me at Central Festival. Food court." I didn't ask questions. I just went. When I saw her, she smiled like nothing had happened. Like we were just picking up from where we left off. She gave me a half-hearted hug, and said, "I miss you." I didn't waste any time. "Who was that guy?" I asked. The one at the bar last night. She blinked, then laughed, like it was silly. Oh, he is just a friend. From Germany, he's just lonely. I didn't do anything with him. I stared at her. You were holding his hand, Somchai. She touched my arm. He drunk, he sad, he needs someone talk to. You don't understand Thai people, Hudson. We care about our friends. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just nodded slowly. Like maybe, there was a version of this story where she wasn't lying. We spent the evening together, ate noodles, walked along the beach. She held my hand again, like nothing had happened. That night, back at my hotel, she stayed over. We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about anything, really. I just held her close, trying to feel that old comfort again. But it wasn't the same. Her head was on my chest, but her mind felt like a million miles away. The next morning she left early. Said her mom called, and there was an emergency. She kissed my cheek, and said, "I see you tonight, okay." But she never came back. I waited by the phone all day, checked Line, Facebook, nothing, and that's when it hit me. I didn't even know where she would hang out other than the bar. For all I knew, she could have been with that same guy right now, or someone else. It finally sunk in. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her plan B, maybe even plan C, and maybe not even that. By the second day of silence, I knew something was wrong. I went to her Facebook. Gone. Not just unfriended. The whole profile had vanished. I wasn't stupid. I knew what that meant. Still, I walked back to the bar, sat there for hours, pretending I was just having a drink, but really just hoping to see her, hoping she'd show up and laugh, and say, "Sorry, phone broken again." But she didn't. I asked the bartender if he'd seen her. He gave me this pity look. "She goes sometimes," he said, shrugging. "When was the last time?" He didn't answer. I pushed a little harder. He sighed and said, "She has many friends. You are not the only one." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. He wiped a glass and said quietly, "You know what I mean. She do this before. Always same. Very sweet, very soft, but she have boyfriend already. Thai man, live far side Pattaya. She work here, but she's not for free." I couldn't breathe. All the little lies started flashing back in my head like broken neon signs. Her being too tired, helping her aunt, going to temple, the dead phones, the missed dinners. They weren't bad luck. They were strategy. I wasn't special. I was a slot in the schedule, one of the guys she rotated through, like part-time jobs. I walked back to my hotel in a daze. Everything looked different. The palm trees, the scooters, even the sea. It all looked fake now, like I was in a movie set I didn't want to be in anymore. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my phone. Every app was empty. Every trace of her was gone, except the money transfers. Those were still there. The worst part wasn't the cash. I mean, yeah, I'd given her a lot. Rent, the scooter, the phone, food, everything. But it wasn't the money that burned. It was the words. "You are not like other man. I love only you. You my Tirak." I'd believed her, every word. And now, she didn't even exist in my life anymore. Like I'd dreamed her up, and then someone snapped their fingers and said, "Wake up, idiot." She didn't vanish. She just moved on. I stayed in Pattaya for 3 more days after Somchai vanished. I don't know why. Maybe I was hoping for closure, or maybe I just couldn't accept it yet. I stopped going to the beach, stopped eating properly, just sat in my hotel room, scrolling through our old messages, listening to the voice notes she used to send me late at night, her soft voice saying, "Good night, my love," over and over again like some kind of spell I couldn't shake. I tried to calculate how much I'd spent, not just the obvious stuff like the scooter and the rent. I was talking transfers through Western Union, mobile top-ups, meals, trips, gifts. It added up fast. Easy over 200k baht. Could have been more. I felt angry inside, but the thing that somehow bothered me the most is that I still missed her. That's the part no one tells you about getting scammed like this. It's not just the money, it's the emotional freefall. One moment, you're planning a life with someone. The next, you realize it was all an illusion, a vampire scheme to drain your money. Every word she said, was it all rehearsed? How many other guys heard the same? "I love you, Tirak," she whispered to me. I remembered that night at her apartment, the one mattress on the floor, the photo of her mum on the wall. Was that even her mum? Or just a random picture she used for sympathy? Was there ever a real Somchai? I was never her boyfriend, never her partner. I was a wallet, a walking bank account with feelings. I probably had a nickname in her phone, something like Hudson ATM or Australia sponsor. There were many red flags. I ignored them. Every time I had a doubt, I pushed it down, told myself I was different, that we had something real, but I wasn't different. I was just next in line. I flew home with a pit in my stomach. The plane was full of sunburned tourists, some laughing, some passed out. I stared out the window the whole way, replaying every moment with Somchai like a movie I couldn't turn off. I kept asking myself the same question: how did I fall for it? I wanted someone to love me, someone soft, someone who saw the good in me after years of feeling invisible. Somchai gave me that, at least on the surface. And when you're lonely enough, the surface feels deep. She didn't force me to give her money. I offered. She manipulated me into giving her money. Back home, my friends didn't even have to say anything. They could tell something had happened. I didn't tell them the full story for weeks. Too ashamed, too hurt. I still think about her sometimes, and I'll get angry that I got played. I won't deny it. So yeah, that's what happened to me. I went to Pattaya to clear my head. Thought I met the one. Thought maybe the universe was giving me a second chance at love. Turns out, the universe was just teaching me a very expensive lesson. Thanks for listening. Hudson. Huge shout out to Hudson for sharing his story, which is not his real name by the way, because when I told him that Somchai is typically a guy's name, he wouldn't want anyone to find out about this. He told me that he initially thought Somchai was a ladyboy or tea-girl. He was already really embarrassed that he got played, but now he's even more bitter that he might have been played by one of them. So yeah, stay safe out there guys. It's a minefield.